All right, everybody, what's up? This is Rafi West. All right, this is Rafi West right here. So, I just wanted to kind of do something on the fly. Here I have up on the screen the quick draw numbers here in the state of New York currently. These are the last few drawings. And I'm not going to do it on a sheet of paper, but my system, which I have a video on the full 1, 2, 3 system of how I pick numbers. So, but since I've been doing this for a while and it is my system that I kind of created, um, I could see off the top of my head if I were playing, let's pick a 5 spot game coming up now on the lunch hour here. I would see that I would include, in the 5 spot game, the number 79, the number 64, and the number 2, because according to my system, look, 2 came out 3 times in a row. 79, 1, 2, then a skip 1 came out 3. So I would include 79, 2, and 64 because it came out twice within the last 3. I started to record the video before this drawing came out. They come out every few minutes. So let's say 79, 2, and 64 I would include in my next game, along with numbers that have not repeated. So, so I may include 79 and 64, and then I would include numbers that have not repeated but have come out. So, for a sample 5 spot game, it would be 79, 64, number 6, 79, 64, 6, the number 10, and the number 24, because those are on their own. So as a sample 5 spot number, I would play now, maybe for the lunch hour, I would play 79, 64, 79, 64, 6, 10, and 24. And if you go back to my system, you will see why I would have chosen those numbers. Now, I could also, instead of doing 79 and 64, I can do 2 and 64, and then include 3 other numbers that have come out only once. So I'm including for 2 of the numbers in every set, whether it's a 5 spot game or a 10 spot game. I want to include 2 numbers that have repeated in the last 3 or 4 drawings, and then I want to include 3 numbers that have come out only once. Okay? And like I said in other videos, if you want to finesse this and tweak it a little, which I'm going to get into in a little while, I would put 79, 64, 6, and 10, and then maybe throw in a number that hasn't come out yet. Let's say the number 1. Okay, if you want to finesse it, tweak that part a little bit. The power numbers, which I've mentioned before, are numbers that are repeating, so I would put those in. Like I said, if you want to understand this more, go look at my system. That's where I really have the nitty-gritty of this. Now, another thing I talked about was the bunch system. And as you can see here, sometimes I like to bunch the last 2 rows, which I believe is the 70s and 80s. Okay. And you see strings of numbers come out. If you can catch the right bunch up, look at here in the 70s, 72, 74, 75, 76, 79. So let's say here you would have strung the 60s and the 70s. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in a 10 spot game, which I've talked about, the bunch system. And had you caught the last two rows, which is what this is, you would have hit a 10 spot game here. Okay? You would have hit a 10 spot game, which I believe is 100 grand for the winnings. Here was the bunch system right here. It came out. Game number 2028182. My bunch system came out right here. Okay? Um, you could do it with the low numbers also. I like the high numbers. I noticed they bunch up a bit more. So basically, you could pick two rows that are together, parallel to each other, and bunch them up there. But I can't think of a more classic example of where they bunched up um, the entire 10 spot game than a few minutes ago, right before lunch. They bunched up right there. Right there. I wish I could highlight this. You know, um, right there, they bunched up. Okay. Now, if we look back, see if they bunched up any other time today. You know, here's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of the 10 numbers. Had you bunched up those last two rows, you would have caught 8 of the numbers here. All right. So here we saw it come once every half hour so far. If we move on, let's see if it happened earlier. Let's see if it happened earlier by just bunching up those numbers. A little mini one here. Would have caught 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the numbers. So they do bunch up. You know, here's kind of a lower number bunch up twice in a row. Almost identical numbers twice in a row. So if you would have picked around those, not quite actually, this skips the second row, but those are numbers that bunch up. So yeah, I just wanted to go over this, and you don't have to stand in the store to get these drawings. I looked on the nylottery.newyork.gov, and you click on the game and pass winning numbers. I mean, it's easier at the store, so you can be ready to deploy your numbers. But let's check even earlier and see if anything bunched up here. Here's another bunch up, 8 numbers here in the last two rows. Okay, you got 8 numbers there. You got another one here, another 8 numbers. All right, and you could bunch them up for the 5 spot game, also 6 spot, you know, within that realm. And if you're lucky enough to bunch up those numbers, you see they happen. It's been happening here on average, I would say, the bunch ups start almost once every half hour. Let's go a little earlier. Once every half hour, they've been bunching up. Here's 7 of the numbers, another half hour earlier. Here is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the numbers bunched up. Another half hour, almost to the T, another half hour earlier. So about once every half hour, they're bunching up. That's about once every 10 drawings. Okay, they are bunching up. So my bunch system, I have a video there. I've seen them so far once every half hour. Let me look even further. Let me go another page and see if they bunched up again. Here's 7 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 numbers. Once again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. Once again, about every half hour is the pattern. The trend is your friend. About every half hour, you're getting a good bunch up of 7 or more numbers. Let's keep it at 7 or more as a strong reading. About once every half hour. So maybe later on today, if anyone's playing, somebody will come back and say they hit something significant. If you're playing 7 spot through 10 spot and you bunch up those last 2 rows, it's happening about once every half hour. Let me go one more page because this is a trend that's really coming up. They're bunching up. Here we go again. Once again, about half hour before that. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in the last 2 rows. That was 8:36. We go back. After that, I believe it was 9:04. No, 8:56. 20 minutes later. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So about, let's say every half hour, these things are bunching up. And I noticed this trend looking at it earlier. Never mind if you play the extra. The multiplier is usually ×2. I see you have a ×5 earlier. Um, let's see what just happened here. Okay. No, this is the wrong one, actually. I want to go to first page. Okay. Now, let's see what just happened. Okay. We got here no bunching yet. The last bunching was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, about halfway through the lunch hour, we might see another bunching up here. Um, nothing's foolproof here, nothing's guaranteed, but you see how the numbers tend to hit. When I said about finessing this thing and throw in a number that has not come out, the number 1, bam, there it came. Okay? There it came. And it's more of an art than a science. It's not guaranteed like everything. Any systems, anything is not a guarantee. It's more of an art. And you have to tweak it sometimes, and it's not an exact science. Very few systems are. It's just a general guideline to increase your odds, to increase your chances, and put the odds in your favor. So I just wanted to show you guys that they do bunch up often. So far, the trend today is about once every half hour. And how I would play it if I was playing, uh, you know, let's say a 5 spot game, even in a 10 spot, I would have included, like I said earlier, 64, 64 and 2. See, and here, 2 again. I mentioned earlier, 64, 2. Throw in a number that has not come out, the 1. So there you have the 1 and the 2. So, it's just giving you an eyeball for getting numbers to hit to play that are likely to hit, you know. So yeah, this is on the fly. I'm not at the store. I'm paper playing, let's say. Okay, I'm seeing what would have happened had I played, and you can do that also. No one says that you have to go there and play. Fill out the slips, don't play them, and see how you would have done. You know, okay? You can do that before heading out. And if you notice patterns on your own, which some people have left in the comments, patterns that they've noticed even on their own. So that's about it. Just wanted to give you guys an update on how this works, kind of eyeballing it. And yeah, so that's about it with that. You know, just keeping an eye to see if another game pops up here. It's every few minutes. So yeah, bunch up those numbers. I like the last two rows. So far today, they've been coming out once every half hour. That may continue for the whole day. You know, bunch them up, see what happens. I'm looking at the screen here, and yeah, check it out. Do what you do, and let me know what you guys think of this. I'm just trying to reinforce the two systems that I mentioned on here, the bunch system and the 1, 2, 3 system. All right. This is Rafi West. Take care. I hope you enjoyed this, and I just wanted to give you guys a clearer picture. And all right, have a good one. Peace.